What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, this is a hot topic right now, and I figured we would jump into it just because there is a pre-proposal in place. And I'll give a shout out to Gold Matters as well, because Gold Matters has been very opinionated on this topic, and that is a centralized exchange listing. Primarily, one of these top-tier exchanges, Binance or Coinbase. So you can see there is a proposal in pre-proposal stage right now from a user called Soy-Misterioso, which is asking to establish an exchange fund to pursue an SPS listing on Binance or Coinbase. So I don't want to get into all of the details here, just because, again, this video is more so just, do we need this rather than what the actual details are. But if you want to go vote on the proposal, I highly recommend you go and check this out. Pre-proposal. It is saying to take SPS from what was allocated for the team originally, the 270 million SPS, and will allocate a budget of $500,000 of SPS and or stablecoins to hire a market maker and provide the necessary liquidity to operate on high volume exchanges. At this point, the SPS token has so much upside potential and yada, yada, yada. The SPS DAO will also allocate up to 2.5 million of SPS and or stablecoins to pursue a listing with Binance or Coinbase. The funds are not authorized to be used for any other centralized exchange. So we are just trying to go for the big ones. As you can see here, it's go big or go home. Why now? And so, yeah, the main point with this, and I guess shout out to Cryptomancer as well, because Cryptomancer was the one who donated the $100,000 for this fee proposal. So yes, is it necessary? Do we need it? What are the benefits? What are the detractions from it? I will say this, just a preface, so that you can probably see where my perspective is on all of this. A lot of the other games that I'm following, a lot of the other games that I am invested in, they're going up right now. Right? So look, I'm not trying to rub salt on the wound. You guys know my love for Splinterlands. You know my love for this project and wanting everything to go. But I am very excited to see Prime doing well. That's listed on Coinbase. You can see Illuvium doing well. That's listed on Coinbase. Even Gala. If you guys remember, there was a point in time in which we were looking on one of the live streams. Gala and SPS were both at 2 cents, and we were wondering which was going to do better. And everybody's thinking was, well, Gala has way more tokens than SPS, right? So the upside potential isn't there. Well, guess what? Gala just hit 8 cents, right? Recently. I don't know where it's at right now. It probably cooled off a little bit, but they've done a 4X while we've jumped up 50%, right? So I'm looking at a lot of these other tokens that are listed on these major exchanges. In gaming, the narrative that is popping off, and hopefully will continue to pop off even more so as we get into an alt season behind this Bitcoin rally. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that we do need one, and I do think that we need to pay whatever the premium is in order to be listed on there. Now, I know the arguments against it, and, Aggie, for example, excuse me, this isn't Splinterlands necessarily related, as he was talking on more of like an AMA for Arcade Colony, but somebody had asked him, are you planning on listing, the Colony token on any of the major exchanges? And for him, he doesn't like major exchanges, right? He thinks that everything is going to move towards decentralized exchanges at some point, and it's maybe not worth the money, maybe it's not worth the time and investment needed, whatever the case is. And again, I don't know if Matt shares that ideology, but clearly, at this point, Matt isn't even focused on exchanges, right? SPS is under the DAO's purview, and I'm sure if he's asked, he'll give some kind of opinion. And I honestly don't know which way he would lean towards, but at this point in time, this is really a community decision if we want to use the funds in the DAO to chase this, because the team isn't going to pay for it, right? Unlike other projects that have the funding and the backing and, the connections to be able to do so, we have to do this as more of a decentralized project, and it has to come out of the community's coffers, meaning the DAO. So at this point in time, is it worth it? Is it not? One of the arguments against it as well is that this just provides a lot of exit liquidity for many whales. And they're not wrong. It would definitely make my life easier if I wanted to sell some SPS. Granted, I do have an outlet through crypto.com, which has already listed SPS, but I think that at least for me, I do believe that, sure, you're going to get some off ramps. That happens, but the on ramp potential is significantly higher. right? People are going to go to Coinbase or Binance first when they hear about Splinterlands, right? We just had the killer whale stuff hit Apple TV and all these other networks. If they want to check it out and they want to grab it, I mean, crypto.com is probably the biggest one that you have if you're in the US. And I'm not even sure for outside the US what it would be. Obviously, Binance would be ideal for that. And again, I know the US markets aren't the only thing, which is why I wouldn't mind Binance over Coinbase if that had to be the case, just because the worldwide appeal would be good. And we still have crypto.com if people really want, in the US, really want to get it through a centralized exchange. But at the end of the day, to me, I do believe that the on-ramp potential is there, right? The game, the community, it's all solid. We've all been around here for the last couple of years. We've seen the team working tirelessly at bringing a better experience, and they have, right? For the most part, everything has been better than it was versus when I joined, which was in, summer of 2021. The game is just in a much better place now. Obviously, the team is much leaner now. They haven't been able to, they haven't hit all the deadlines that they were trying to hit. They haven't given us all the features that they had promised that they would. But at the end of the day, from where we were in August of 2021 to where we are now, I would say that the game is in a much better spot. A lot of the loopholes, a lot of the exploits have been closed. Not all of them, right? But the tokenomics are sound in terms of, like, we've gotten rid of the DEC overhang. We've started to see the flywheel in action, right? And the game is just playing better. There's new rule sets given out to us all the time. Rebellion is holding its value. Like, this is a very different place. And I do believe, even though TCGs aren't necessarily mainstream, in my opinion, I don't think they're ever going to go mainstream. Even, when I talk about Parallel, for example, I don't think that's necessarily going to go mainstream, but it is pulling in, I think they have like at least 12,000 players or something like that. We can't boast that, right? And sure, if you want to count bots, then yeah, we're high up, but sorry, it's not 12,000 players. They have 12,000 people holding Prime, 12,000 different wallets holding Prime. So players could be different because, they're appealing to a Web2 audience, but sorry, that was a little bit of a digression. My main point with the TCGs was the fact that we may not be something that goes mainstream, but just the potential for not only players, but also investors to come into the space. Look at land, for example, and see all the liquidity pools there and have a gamified DeFi element. Hopefully SoulKeep ends up being another not on-ramp, but a place in which people will want to come in and mess around with whatever's going on in the Splinterlands ecosystem, right? Which will be using the SPS token as well as other tokens and potentially assets. So to me, I do believe that the potential on-ramp is way higher than any kind of potential off-ramp that people might have. The inflows from that would be way better. And we're getting into a moment right now where I do think, similar to 2021, if Bitcoin starts to really go, shoot past its all-time high, we're kind of trading in the low 70s right now, but, hit 80s, 90s, 100K, I do think that there will be this renewed kind of focus on crypto from Main Street, right? And so whatever that ends up looking like, I don't know when that time frame for that will be. I don't know, but obviously we'd want to get a start on this sooner rather than later, because a Coinbase listing or a Binance listing just in and of itself would be news, right? People are always looking to see, hey, what's going to list on here, what's not. I don't know. To me, at the end of the day, this is something that I'm voting for. This is something that I'm in favor of. I look at the stuff in the DAO as like, well, if it's not being spent to benefit the game and benefit the ecosystem, then why are we even doing? Why are we just collecting? Like, we're just hoarders at this point, thinking that we'll spend it on something magical in the future. But to me, this seems like a worthwhile expense. So I just wanted to share some thoughts on it with you guys here, as well as let you know that there is some action actually being taken right now to try and make this happen. So if you want to learn more, go check it out under the pre-proposals. You can read all about it. But shout out to Soy Mysterioso for taking this on and taking action. That is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Very curious to know if you are for or against it. But otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.